presents high school wrestling. Tonight, the finals of the 17th annual Neptune Classic. Hello again, everyone. I'm Mark Rossman, and working with me tonight, once again from the Neptune Classic, Joe Zadalis of the Asbury Park Press. Joe, good to have you back with us.
Glad to be here, Mark. It's been a great tournament so far.
As it has for the past 2 decades, or nearly 2 decades, Joe, the Neptune Classic signals the start of the high school wrestling season for wrestlers in the Shore Conference, and this is another star-studded field. We're going to have some outstanding action tonight.
Oh, absolutely. If you had a preview of what's going to happen in March when you get to the districts and the regionals and such, this is the place to be. There are handfuls upon handfuls of region and district champs here, and a pair of state champions in Manalapan's Indra Suliadaka Sumo and Middletown South's Glenn Pritzloff.
Many outstanding wrestlers will be in action tonight. 18 teams began action in the Neptune Classic last night. That was a Friday night. 11 schools will be represented in the finals. And you can see that Oakcrest, the team from South Jersey, which has come up to this tournament the last couple of years, they came to do some work this year, Joe. And Oakcrest, 6 wrestlers in the finals. That's a nice performance.
Oh, they're a very well-rounded team. They've run off and hit as far as the team championship is concerned. They are the defending South Jersey Group 3 state champions, and look for them to be in the team finals later this year with Brick Memorial.
Warming up on the mat and getting prepared for his 112-pound final is Manalapan's Indra Suliadaka, who was the 103-pound state champion a year ago. The wrestler he'll face tonight at 112 pounds is the wrestler he defeated last year in the 103-pound state championship. There are 13 bouts on tap tonight from the Neptune Classic. It's the finals, and we'll meet the participants right after this. Welcome back to the 17th annual Neptune Wrestling Classic from Neptune Senior High School. 13 championship bouts coming up in what should be an outstanding night of high school wrestling. 11 schools represented in the finals.
The finest wrestlers in the state of New Jersey. These are the championship bouts. Awards for the 103-pound bout will be presented after the 112-pound match. This procedure will be followed throughout the evening. Tonight's finals are being taped for telecast on Monday night at 7 o'clock on TV 34, Monmouth Cablevision. Mark Rossman and Joe Zadalis call the action. That's Monday night at 7 on TV 34, Monmouth Cablevision, for coverage of tonight's finals.
Dan Edelson on the PA tonight here at Neptune.
And now,
let's
here
listen
are the
in.
introductions for the championship matches. At 103 pounds, Brad Bauer, Lenape, Miguel Ramos, Long Branch. At 112 pounds, Indra Suliadaka, Manalapan, Justin Hurst, Lenape. At 119 pounds, Ryan Duffy, Middletown South, Tony Rodriguez, Oakcrest. At 125 pounds, Joe Prebish, Lakewood. Kevin Mamano, Long Branch. At 130 pounds, Rob Sagerton, Middletown South. John French, Ocean. At 135 pounds, Keith Swistock, Howell. Craig Mamano, Long Branch. At 140 pounds, Sam Haynes, Lenape. Mike Bird, Oakcrest. At 145 pounds, Kevin Seward, Lenape. Kevin Wilson, Middletown South. At 152 pounds, Max Lavasseur, Neptune. Jason Brown, Oakcrest. At 160 pounds, Thurman Perry, Howell. Justin Bird, Oakcrest. At 171 pounds, Ben Theus, Oakcrest. Glenn Pritzlaff, Middletown South. At 189 pounds, James Jenkins, Oakcrest. Todd Rogers, Middletown North. And the heavyweight bout, Tyrone Johnson, Jackson. Bryant Clagan, Lakewood. The 1992 Wrestling Classic is dedicated to 1991 tournament champion Alex Kavalev, Jr. We have a letter from his family. Once again, our family has been touched by the love shown for our son and brother, Alex. The dedication of this year's Neptune Classic in memory of Alex will always be remembered and cherished by us. Although Alex is not here today, I know he is here in our hearts and spirit. Special thanks to Rich and Cindy Nelson, Don East, Bruce Hoffman, and Neptune High School for this special Neptune Classic. Very special love and gratitude to Doug Bauer, wrestling coach at Howell High Wrestling Team, students and parents who supported Alex throughout his career at Howell High School, and our family now. You will always be in our hearts and prayers. Good luck to all the wrestlers today and always. Love, the Kavalev family, Connie, Alex Sr., Tracy, and Paul. Please rise for a moment of silence in Alex Kavalev's memory. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
So we're just about set for the 103-pound championship. As you heard, this year's Neptune Classic dedicated to the memory of Alex Kavalev, who was a 3-year letter winner at Howell High School, a one-time district champion. Was killed a couple of weeks ago in a car crash up in Somerset, and this tournament dedicated to his memory tonight. The 103-pound final coming up between Brad Bauer of Lenape and top seed Miguel Ramos of Long Branch. And Joe, this should be a good one, as Ramos of Long Branch, a sophomore, but he's a comer in the short conference.
Yeah, he's looked very good the entire tournament. Very quick, very strong for his size, and as all good wrestlers are, is usually very good on his feet.
3 two-minute periods in high school wrestling. Both wrestlers trying to gain the early advantage. And the early advantage right now is nearly taken by Ramos. But still no points awarded. Referee Dan Lee in the foreground. Bowers, a junior from Lenape. He's in the red. Long Branch head coach Bill George with the cap on. He's done a great job rebuilding this Long Branch program, and the Green Wave has 3 wrestlers in the finals this year.
Sensational. You know, he was recounting about how his first year they didn't even get anybody through the first round here.
There's a 2-point takedown for Ramos, and he leads 2-0. Long Branch, a great athletic tradition in all sports. Wrestling as well. It was down for a couple of years, and Bill George has just come in, and what is it, 4 or 5 years that he's been there, has really kind of rekindled the flame, you might say.
Yeah, Shore Conference Class B North champions last year. Very intense coach, and his wrestlers seem to follow suit. His assistant is Eddie Polino, who was a teammate of his in high school.
Bauer working for his escape.
He's going to get it.
Still not awarded any points, and Rich Veth will give him 1 point for an escape, so the score is now 2-1. Here's Brad Bauer. Lenape has come up to the Neptune Classic the last couple of years, and Russ Menudo's team has done very well. Gotten used to seeing them put a couple of wrestlers into the finals. Ramos with another takedown. He leads 4-1. And another escape for Bauer to make it 4-2. Well, Ramos has come up with a couple of takedowns, but Bauer's never stopped working on the bottom and has earned himself a couple of escapes.
It almost looks like Ramos is having a little trouble with Bauer's leverage once he gets on top. Bauer's very long, very lean for a 3-pounder.
Those long legs. Let's see if he uses those when he's on top later on. Try to control Ramos. Here's another takedown for Miguel Ramos at 6'2". I think Bill George has had his guys working on the takedown moves because Ramos looks very smooth.
He's looked very good, has all day. They're great single, finished it up. Not in a good position here, however.
4 seconds left in the period. Stalemate is called with 3 seconds left. Ramos trying to hang on for the final 3 seconds. Bauer made it a bit tough, but did not score any points. It's 6-2 at the end of the first period here in the 103-pound final. And Bauer, with the choice in the second period, will choose down. Feels he can escape from Ramos.
As he said, he's so tall, Ramos has had a hard time holding on. He's got nothing to get a grip on.
That time Ramos took a leg and was able to knock Bauer down and out of bounds. And yielding the escape was Ramos. That makes it 6-3. Ramos obviously confident in his takedown ability, and you can see why as he goes right back to work. He's going to spin around on that leg. He's just waiting for that right opportunity.
See Ramos doing a nice job of blocking off the single.
Still no points for a takedown, and the wrestlers are out of bounds. Minute and 19 seconds left in the second period. 6-3 lead for Miguel Ramos of Long Branch in the green. Once again in with a good single leg.
And trip, step over, and there's the 2.
That's just a picture-perfect single leg takedown, and he finished it off once he got in on it. 8-3 is the score in Ramos's favor. 4 takedowns less than 2 periods for Miguel Ramos. Second in the district as a freshman, third in the regions. Bill George is going to enjoy having him in the lineup for the next few years.
He's going to enjoy having a few of these kids in the lineup.
Yeah, he's young team. There's a 2-point reversal for Bauer to make it 8-5. 50 seconds left in the second period.
Half in, he's got a leg. Ramos is in trouble here.
First time Ramos has been in any trouble, and now he's trying to fight off his back. As the half in deep does Bauer, and just like that, the momentum switches around, and that's it. Unbelievable turn of momentum as Bauer worked for the reversal and then got the half Nelson in, and with 29 seconds left in the second period, Bauer pins Ramos to win the 103-pound title.
Mark, it almost looked like Bauer lulled Ramos to sleep with the stand-up through the first couple periods, and then he snapped out from the bottom, got a half in real deep, took the forearm, and just buried him. Shoulder blades flat on the mat.
Pin comes at 3:31. And Brad Bauer of Lenape winning the 103-pound championship. Nicely done. A little shaky on his feet, but he was good from the bottom. All right, here's the match that folks have been waiting to see. The 112-pound final, Justin Hurst of Lenape, Indra Sulio-Adekasumo of Manalapan, a rematch of last year's 103-pound state finals, in which Sulio-Adekasumo pinned Hurst. Also beat him here at the Neptune Classic. Hurst with a 1-2 lifetime record against the Manalapan wrestler. Two of the top wrestlers in the state right here. Hurst with the long leggings on. He's from Lenape. He's a junior. Sulio-Adekasumo of Manalapan, a senior. That was out of bounds.
See the great hips of Sulio-Adekasumo there.
Yeah, it looked like Hurst was in on a pretty good takedown attempt, and Indra was able to fight his way out of it. Here's Indra, senior, cornerstone of Bill Terrell's club at Manalapan this year. He's the only finalist for the Braves this time around.
Uncharacteristically tentative for Sulio. There's an ankle pick.
And Hurst knew it was a pretty good effort. He backed out, and they'll come back to the middle. 52 seconds left in the first period. Sulio-Adekasumo pinned Hurst in the 103-pound state final in Atlantic City this past March.
You can tell two veteran wrestlers here so far, very aware where they are in the mat. You know, Hurst knew with the ankle pick where he was, and you saw Sully fight off 2 takedowns too, knowing he was on the edge and could step out.
Hurst was 29-3 a year ago. Bill Terrell on the left, his assistant Arnie Lifland on the right. They're the Manalapan coaches. Sulio-Adekasumo was 28-0 last year. And this is shaping up as a real battle. 15 seconds left in the first period.
Potentially dangerous on the knee.
Dan Lee, the official who called that. Six seconds left. Neither one wants to yield a takedown here with 3. That'll do it for the first period. So both wrestlers a bit tentative. And each was able to fight off a couple of takedown attempts. There's Lenape coach Russ Benuto. Hurst will have the top position as we start the second period. No score in the 112-pound final. Hurst trying to control Indra.
There's the escape.
And a 1-point escape. So Sulio Adequasumo gives him a 1-0 lead, and very quickly in on a nice takedown for another 2 points and a 3-0 lead.
Really drew in the single leg nice and finished it off.
Hurst with a 1-point escape to make it 3-1. Indra's Manalapan teammates to our left cheering him on. Hurst really trying to control the head and spin around, and as you pointed out before, the wrestler's very aware of where they are in the mat. Sulio Adequasumo is able to take the action out of bounds and start again.
Hurst really, again, making use of the leverage, putting the pressure on Indra's head.
Looks to have a bit of a height advantage, does Hurst. The top 2 seeds in this weight class. And I think we have a little injury timeout. Bloody nose, perhaps. Sulio Adequasumo, 28-0 a year ago. Hurst, 29-3. As a lot of wrestling brought them together in Atlantic City. The state championships moving out of Princeton's Jadwin Gym down to Atlantic City. Let's take a look and see if we can see where Indra got hit.
Looks like they butted heads right as they came out of that single leg.
The state championships moving down to Atlantic City. It's a longer ride, but I think it worked out pretty well for the participants, Joe.
Yes, it did, and I honestly believe it's going to even be better this year. Deal has been worked out where the NJSAA will be going there this year and have the option of going the year after that. I think they worked the bugs out of the tournament, and I think they were very happy with the crowds. Again, record-setting crowds.
And of course, it was Hurst and Sulio Adequasumo who battled for the 103-pound final. And that was at 103 pounds last year. That looks like Brad Bauer, who was the winner at 103 pounds just a couple of minutes ago, picking up a Neptune Classic championship. I think that has a lot of meaning for the wrestlers who come to this tournament, because as we were talking about earlier, this has become a tournament to attract a lot of great teams under the tournament direction of Joe Bongiovanni here at Neptune, and it means something to come away with a title here.
You can't help but notice the history here, that if you place here, there's a good chance that you're going to be standing on a victory stand in March someplace.
Joe Bongiovanni coming off a big fall. He was an assistant coach for Joe Martucci over at Matawan. Huskies winning the Central Jersey Group 3 title. He didn't have much time to put this tournament together, but once again, things running smoothly here at the Neptune Classic, and we thank him for his help here.
And Joe's the first-year head swimming coach here at Neptune for the first time.
Hurst in on a single-leg takedown. Sulio Adequasumo with a good, strong counter, and he'll come up with the 2 points.
Great pancake there.
Has Hurst in some trouble. Sulio Adequasumo trying to put away Justin Hurst of Lenape, and he does. To win the 112-pound championship at the Neptune Classic, Indra Sulio Adequasumo of Manalapan. Well, these two could meet again somewhere down the line. You never know. What a counter by Indra, who looked to be in some trouble and got the takedown and then worked it into a pin. Great strength up on top.
And he knows how to finish, Mark. You could see he caught him with a pancake. That Hurst got a little sloppy, had some arms hanging, and he just tossed him to his back, and he knows what to do once he gets him down.
Pin comes at 3:35. The awards being made right now for the 103-pound wrestlers. Pat McGrath of Toms River East, the third-place finisher.
And the 103-pound champion, Brad Bauer of Lenape.
So there's Pat McGrath. Second place goes to Miguel Ramos of Long Branch.
Now wrestling 119
And the
pounds,
champion at 103 pounds
nice
was
job.
Brad Bauer of Lenape.
Congratulations, Brad. You guys have a great program down there. Super job.
On deck, 125 pounds.
And there's Brad Bauer, the champion at 103 pounds, and Ramos, who was second. McGrath from Toms River East was third. Now it's the 119-pound final. Ryan Duffy of Middletown South and Tony Rodriguez of Oakcrest. Rodriguez, the first of 6 Oakcrest wrestlers we'll see in the finals. Rodriguez 16-5-1 a year ago. Duffy 8-4 last year. And Rodriguez not wasting any time. He shot in very quickly, and Duffy tried to counter it.
2 very athletic wrestlers here, Mark.
Referee John Gabrielli giving it a good long look before awarding any points, and he still has not awarded any points. John Gabrielli on the left. Rich Veth is also on the mat.
Hip to hip off his base. There's the 2 points.
2-point takedown for Ryan Duffy of Middletown South. He is the top seed at 119 pounds. And there's a 1-point escape for Tony Rodriguez. So it's 2-1, Duffy with the lead here in the first period of the 119-pound final.
Time up! Time up!
Nice shrug.
And the wrestler's going out of bounds.
Time up!
55 seconds left in the first period. A 2-1 lead for Duffy. He's on the right in the navy and gray of Middletown South. Rodriguez of Oakcrest in the royal blue. Just as Lenape has come up the last couple of years and made the Neptune Classic tougher, Oakcrest, which started here about 2 or 3 years ago, has also added a great deal of competitiveness to this field, Joe.
Been a great addition. Too great maybe for some of the short teams. Great team balance. Doug Servy's a fantastic young coach. You could just see that a couple of years ago, and as I said on the intro, the defending South Jersey Group 3 champion.
Tony Rodriguez trailing by a point with 25 seconds left in the first period. Duffy got a little high, but is able to make something of it and come away with a 2-point takedown, and Rodriguez on his back. Duffy looking to put him away, and that'll do it. A first period pin for Ryan Duffy, the top seed from Middletown South. 1 minute and 50 seconds. And Duffy defeats Oakcrest's Tony Rodriguez. Duffy with a great upper body build, looking like he might be one of the 119-pounders to watch this year.
So far, he certainly looked good there. And again, you can tell the wrestlers here are very good. They know what to do when they get an opponent on their back. They finish the move. They finish the match.
Joe Bongiovanni is going to hand out the awards at 112 pounds.
Second place.
Third place finisher was Jamal Watts of Long Branch.
And the 112
There's Jamal.
champion, Indra Sulioada Kusimo.
Justin Hurst of Lenape is the second place finisher at 112 pounds, and the champion at 112, Indra Sulioada Kusumo of Manalapan. And here's the pin at 119 with Duffy.
Now you see Duffy just step right over and finish it. In deep with a reverse half. And all John Gabrielli does is make it academic.
And there it is. That was the 119-pound final. We're underway at 125 pounds. Joe Prabish of Lakewood, Kevin Mamano of Long Branch. Mamano, a sophomore, was 14-9 a year ago. Prabish of Lakewood on top, coming off a season in which he was 4-11 with an improved Lakewood squad. Lakewood with a couple of wrestlers in the finals tonight. First time we've seen that in a couple of years.
Coach Mads Madsen doing a real nice job. And they're going to get even better. Mark Doug Parise, 1976 state champion at Lakewood, has rejoined the Lakewood staff.
Prabish with a 2-0 lead off a takedown here in the first period. Kevin Mamano trying to work for his escape. There's Prebish. And Mamano was the top seed coming into the tournament at 125 pounds. I was wrestling at Manalapan when Doug Parisi was at Lakewood. He was unbelievable. I think his favorite move was the split.
Doug only wrestles at one speed, fast.
He was terrific. Dynamite on the mat.
And later an All-American at Temple University.
Here's Prebish still in control with the 2-0 lead. 35 seconds left in the first period. Another guy who wrestled in the short conference back in the mid-70s at, as a matter of fact, right at Long Branch, Bill George's school, a fellow by the name of Sam Mills, now with the New Orleans Saints. Sam Mills was just dynamic when he took to the mats. Looked like a wall coming out.
Powerhouse. Rich Veth called Prebish for stalling there. In his opinion, I'm sure he just felt that Prebish was not working for the fall.
That was a first warning, no points awarded to Mamano. Still a 2-0 lead as they go out of bounds. Gets back to a little bit of the Long Branch tradition we touched on a while ago. Reading in the paper that Sam Mills had come back last year to Long Branch High School and had spoken to the students, mentioned some of the accomplishments of the Green Wave wrestling team, and that certainly was a lift for the young men on that team. And Mamano went down hard and is awarded a penalty point to make the score 2-1. Rich Veth felt that Prebish added a little bit extra as they were going out of bounds and perhaps didn't release Mamano in time. So it's 2-1.
That's head coach Mads Madsen. He's disputing the call with Rich Veth. Not very happy with it, obviously. By Mads, it's probably a good idea too, because it'll give his wrestler an opportunity to compose himself. And let's see if Mamano takes advantage of it right now.
Tried to come up with an escape. Prebish had the answer. 8 seconds left in the first period. Trying to work the legs in with 4 seconds left. Not a lot of time to make something happen with 2. And will he get any back points from it? No. So the score is 2-1 in favor of Joe Prebish of Lakewood as we head to the second period. So much in wrestling as far as the officiating goes is judgment, nothing else. In Rich Veth's opinion that last time, it was worth a penalty point for Mamano.
I think what Rich saw was the fact that Mamano had both his arms tied up, and Prebish could have let him go as they exited the circle and did not.
2-1 as we start the second period. Prebish on top and with the 1-point lead here at the 125-pound final.
Double arm bar, a little sloppy with it.
He got high, and Mamano was able to come out for an escape to tie the match at 2. When we say that the wrestler got high on that, we mean that Prebish had actually come up past Mamano's head, and that, of course, let the Long Branch wrestler back out and pick up that escape. You want to try to stay behind your opponent as much as you can. Getting high means that you got too far around the front. George doesn't sit down a whole lot over there.
No, he really doesn't need his chair. Oh, nice leg sweep to his back.
Mamano trying to work the cradle on Prebish. Picked up a 2-point takedown and has the lead 4-2 and gets 2 back points for a 6-2 lead with 1:15 left in the second period.
Almost looked like a judo move, a leg sweep. Swept the legs right out from under him and sent them right to his back.
Couldn't quite lock up on the cradle, though, and had to let go after he picked up 2 near-fall points. Evan Mamano, a sophomore. He's got a leg ride in right now, but not doing much with it. 50 seconds left in the second period. Trying to work the half in. Maybe he could try to look for a guillotine off of this.
It's a possibility. What he needs to do first, and what he's trying to do, is break Freebish flat and then extend him to his back with a half nose.
30 seconds left in the period. And they go out of bounds. 6-2, the lead for Kevin Mamano of Long Branch, 14-9 a year ago. Green Wave with 3 wrestlers in the finals. Freebish needs to come up with a move here on the whistle. He hit it pretty quick at the whistle, but Mamano had the counter. And still working with the leg in there, trying to work the arm. And now Mamano in danger of getting a bit too high with 10 seconds left in the period. Let's see if Freebish can work his way out of it.
He might get some back points here.
Rich Beth will award 2 back points as the second period comes to a close. The question of whether or not Freebish had a reversal right at the end of the period. Let's double check the call. They give him the reversal and no back points?
No back points.
Okay.
I thought you see him just flip over, break the half, and get the reversal.
Okay, so it is 6-4. And the third period starts with Mamano on top. Kevin Mamano of Long Branch leads Joe Freebish of Lakewood 6-4. Freebish some credit. He kept working till the end of the second period and was able to pick up the reversal when it looked like Mamano had him in some trouble. Mamano just trying to keep a good tight ride right now.
A stack, he got 2 swipes in.
And that's going to be good for a couple of back points.
And Rich has him down, just waiting for the hold to change.
Looks like it has right now, and there are the 2 near fall points for Mamano to make it 8-4. Freebish trying to work his way out of it.
Switching to a double.
Still has not gotten his 1 point for the escape as Mamano maintained control with a minute left.
For a headlock.
And out of bounds with 57 seconds left in the third period. So the Green Wave has had a second place finisher tonight, Ramos at 103 pounds. And Kevin Mamano trying to give the Green Wave championship.
There's a point.
Freebish gets credit for the escape, 1 point to make it 8-5. And a 2-point takedown for Mamano as he quickly has the answer with 40 seconds left. 10-5 is the score.
Mamano one-on-one with a half.
He's trying for the cradle, trying to bow him right up with half a minute left. Couldn't quite work the cradle, but he's in good shape with a 10-5 lead and 25 seconds left. Just has to try to stay off his back, and Freebish was working for the reversal. Mamano wouldn't give it to him, and there's 15 seconds. Had 3 straight pins, but this will break the streak. Nevertheless, Kevin Mamano of Long Branch wins the 125-pound final, 10-5 over Joe Freebish of Lakewood. Workmanlike performance for Mamano, and head coach Bill George looking on. Good job as Mamano was in control the whole way.
Joe Freebish, Lakewood, 10-5. 119 pounds, third place, Greg Bauer, Lenape.
And a championship for Kevin Mamano with a 10-5 victory.
Second place,
nice job.
Peter Rodriguez, Oakcrest.
At 119 pounds, Greg Bauer of Lenape was the third place finisher.
And the 119
Tony Rodriguez of Oakcrest was second.
Ryan Duffy, Middletown South.
And Ryan Duffy of Middletown South with King Rodriguez in a minute and 50 seconds, the champion at 119 pounds.
John Prince, Ocean.
So the medals and trophies being handed out as we move to the 130-pound final. John Frent of Ocean Township, Rob Sagerton of Middletown South. This should be a good bout between a couple of wrestlers who had fine seasons last year. Frent was 24-4. Sagerton was 11-7. They were the 119-pound top three. Sagerton came on strong at the end of last season.
And Frent is just very consistent, has been for the last 2 years.
130-pound final. Frent is Ocean's only participant in the championship round, 13 matches. Middletown South has 4 wrestlers in the finals for Coach Tom Erbig. That was out of bounds. So we're still in a neutral position with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the first period. John Frent of Ocean Township against Rob Sagerton of Middletown South. A couple of wrestlers who could meet again in a dual meet in the Shore Conference A North Division. Middletown South and Ocean will be in the hunt, and these two could lock up again.
And they'll also meet in the districts. They're both in District 22.
I think that this is the second night of the season. There is such a long way to go for all these wrestlers, but you couldn't have a better start than the Neptune Classic. Good competition. And it can really be the boost that you need to get going. Lenape, we're going to see a couple of Lenape wrestlers coming up in a little while. Wrestlers who were defeated early on as Frent scores a 2-point takedown. Wrestlers who were defeated in the first round a year ago and have come back to gain a spot in the finals. Tom Erbig on the left is the head coach of Middletown South.
And Paul Oster, a former Middletown South wrestler, is assistant. On the left is head coach Dave Rupp.
From Ocean. We had a potentially dangerous hold. It stopped action with 28 seconds left.
Frent's style here, he likes to work with a leg in.
Sagerton looking for a reversal or an escape with 17 seconds. First couple of bouts were wrestled right in the middle of the mat. Frent and Sagerton have been all over. Out of bounds a couple of times.
Nice step over by Sagerton.
Still no reversal because Frent still has control.
Possible defensive pin here.
As the period comes to a close, John Gabrielli and Dan Lee, the officials, discussing it, and there was no reversal awarded. So Frent leads 2-0 at the end of one period. Tom Erbig felt that Frent had pinned himself right as that period was coming to a close. That's what he was arguing, but he's not going to get it. Frent will start in the bottom position as we begin the second period. Rob Sagerton up on top, loses control. There's a 1-point escape for Frent, a 3-0 lead, and Frent very quickly in on a single leg. Sagerton trying to kick out of it.
We'll see a stalemate.
There it is. Frent got in deep on a single leg, but once Sagerton sprawled out of it, neither wrestler could come up with an advantage that would have led to the takedown. 3-0 lead for John Frent of Ocean.
Frent really effective so far off the tie-up. Working into a double.
Sagerton is going to have to let go or face going to his back. As Frent is in pretty good on this takedown attempt, still has not been awarded points, and a good job by Sagerton to at least maintain a stalemate, because it looked for a minute like he was going to have to turn and concede the takedown. Seconds left in the second period, the 130-pound final.
Frent driving for another takedown. Sagerton blocking off.
At this point, it's Frent who's been making most of the moves to initiate a takedown. Sagerton doing more defensive wrestling.
But again, Mark, both boys again showing that mat awareness, knowing where the out-of-bounds line is, knowing when they can take a chance.
Some guys are masters of that. .34 seconds left in the second period.
Great counter by Frent.
And now it's Sagerton trying to counter and turn into it.
Got it.
And there's his 2-point takedown. That makes the score 3-2. The question is, will he receive any back points? With a very quick time when he had Frent on his back. And it doesn't look like there will be any back points awarded. So it's 3-2, Frent with the lead.
See Frent driving for a takedown there. And then he tries to pull Sagerton back across him. Sagerton posts the arm, rolls back over onto Frent's chest, and gets the takedown.
Back to action with 4 seconds left in the second period. A good 130-pound final. It'll be 3-2 as we go to the third period. These two appear to be very evenly matched.
I'll tell you this, though, Mark, Frent appears to be a little bit more tired than Sagerton at this point.
Frent's been more aggressive. Sagerton will start from the down position. Frent trying to catch his breath just a bit.
See if Frent works with a leg in here to try and save a little energy.
Looked like he immediately shot the leg in. He's going to try to ride Sagerton for the final 2 minutes. He's going to have to make an effort at least to try for some pinning combinations. But it's Sagerton taking the offensive and pins him. Sagerton with a great reversal of form got Frent to his back and pins him with 1:41 left in the third period. Quite a turnaround for Sagerton. 4:19 on the pin.
I hear you're going to see Frent try and pull Sagerton back across his body again.
That's twice that he tried it, and this time it cost him.
And Sagerton gets an arm under the head and a leg, and it's almost like a reverse cradle. And Dan Lee right there, and it's over.
Yeah, he had the leg. Did tie him up.
At 125 pounds.
So a lot of pins in the finals tonight.
Manalapan.
Here are the award presentations at 125 pounds. Third
Second place,
Eric Holst,
Joe
Manalapan.
Prebish, Lakewood.
Second place, Joe Prebish of
Great job.
Lakewood.
Great job. Came out of nowhere.
And the
Joe.
125-pound champion, Kevin Mamano, Long Branch.
And Kevin Mamano of Long Branch, the champion at 125 pounds.
I don't know what you guys over Long Branch are going to be doing something right. You guys are taking away a lot of hardware this year.
Keith Swistock, Howell.
Joe Bongiovanni with congratulations for Kevin Mamano, the champion at 125 pounds.
140 pounds.
This should be a good one. Keith Swistock of Howell, Craig Mamano of Long Branch at 135 pounds. Swistock was off to a 6-1 start a year ago before he broke his ankle and missed the rest of the year.
And I think Craig Mamano is on the verge of blossoming into the area's one of the area's finest wrestlers.
And he's just a junior. Swistock was a district champion as a sophomore. He said missed most of his junior year with the broken ankle. No points awarded there. There's Keith. And there's Craig Mamano from Long Branch, 20-6 a year ago. A couple of real tough battlers here, Joe.
Two very tough kids and always moving forward, and Swisstock has showed no signs of the ankle injury, at least so far.
Early in the bout, 1:15 left in the first period. Doug Bowers had his Howell Rebels as the A-North champions are certainly in the hunt for the last better part of a decade. Some new faces in the Rebels lineup this time around, though.
I guess you would call it a reloading year for Duggan, but he's still going to be in the hunt. Him, Manalapan, Middletown, South Ocean, they're all going to be there.
We're going to see one of those new faces a little later, Thurman Perry, who saw some action for Doug Bauer last year with the Rebels, and there's Doug closest to you. And Thurman has earned himself a spot in the finals tonight.
With Doug there was his first-year varsity assistant, Scott Bilter, a former standout.
35 seconds left in the first period, no score. Swisstock in the blue, Mamano in the green. Stalemate whistled. Good single leg attempt by Swisstock. He's trying to finish him off. Can he do it in bounds? And still in neutral. Good effort by Swisstock to bring Mamano back in bounds, although he still hasn't gotten a takedown. 3 seconds left in the period. And no takedown. So good job by Mamano to fight off the single leg takedown attempt by Swisstock after Swisstock had dragged him back in bounds. No score at the end of one. Another big year of wrestling in the short conference coming up. Certainly the Long Branch Green Wave hoping to take the honors once again in the B North Division. Who are some of the teams that might challenge the Wave?
Raritan is traditionally strong in B North. I think they'll be the main competition. You know, the division is a little different with Ocean moving up to A North.
There's a 1-point escape for Swisstock, and he leads 1-0. Still looking for a first takedown in the match. The 135-pound final.
Not a whole lot of action here. I think we might see a stalling call against someone.
I thought we were going to see one in the first period. John Gabrielli and Rich Beth are the officials on the mat.
And there it is.
So there's a warning for stalling against Mamano, right.
You have to always be working to advance your position. You always have to be offensive. If you're not, that is when the referees will warn you and then penalize you for stalling. And there's Mamano spinning behind for 2.
And it was actually Swisstock that initiated the takedown attempt, but Mamano with a nice counter, and he leads 2-1. Swisstock went in looking for the single leg again. Mamano sprawled and was able to eventually gain control of Keith Swisstock.
So often happens. The boy who's warned for stalling comes right back and scores the takedown.
Sometimes you just need a little inspiration.
Or fear.
Right. Right on the out-of-bounds line. Neptune Finals once again drawing a great crowd. 18 teams came to the tournament. 11 schools represented in the finals. Swisstock trying to break the control of Mamano. Mamano content to ride him out of bounds. 23 seconds left in the second period.
Swisstock able to get to his feet, but he just doesn't have the hand control to break Mamano's grip. And in
Keeps
wrestling,
running out of room.
hand control is the absolute key.
Once again, Swisstock working up. He's got to take those hands and just try to pry them apart. A little bit of a better effort this time with 7 seconds left. He's got the hands. And did he get his escape? It looked like Mamano still had the leg. And that's the ruling of officials Rich Veth and John Gabrielli. Swisstock gave it another good effort. Mamano was just able to hold on. 2 seconds left in the period. Swisstock with a nice roll, and he got the 1-point escape to tie the match at 2. So if you think you can't do something in 2 seconds, there's the proof that you can from the bottom position. Swisstock had not tried it to that point and sprang it with 2 seconds left.
You see, Swisstock bait him a little bit. Had been standing up, and here he hits a Granby roll, pops out and gets the escape before the buzzer.
Very nicely done. Mamano starts from the down position in the third period. Greg Mamano of Long Branch against top seed Keith Swisstock of Howell. Swisstock has the half in, but is a little bit high as he tries to turn Mamano. In danger of losing it, and he does surrender a 2-point reversal. Tough to work the half from that high up.
You could see Mamano was trying to set him up for the Peterson roll, and as soon as Swisstock blocked that off, it left something else open. He went to another move, popped out, and got the reversal.
Mamano leads 4-2 with 1:20 left in the third period.
Stalling against Long Branch.
And that's going to be a point for Swisstock because Mamano had been warned once before. So the second time you do it, it's a penalty point for your opponent. That makes the score 4-3.
You can see there that Mamano had the leg in and the half in, but he did not break his opponent down. He did not flatten his opponent out. That's not advancing his position offensively, and that's a stall.
And he yields the escape that ties the match at 4. Mamano obviously feels he can take Swisstock down again. He's done it once. Unless you're really outstanding on your feet, I'm not sure that giving up points is the way to go at any point in the match.
But that's where the stalling calls affected Mamano. There's a great leg sweep. No points yet.
Now Swisstock gets his 2 and the lead. A 6-4 lead for Howell's Keith Swisstock.
He's not in the greatest position to control him here, however, Mark. Needs to either bottle him up or spin behind.
Looks like he's trying to work for a cradle.
Not going to get it from there.
No, very hard to do.
There's the fourth triumph.
15 seconds left in the third. Swisstock trying to hold on, and Mamano trying to tie it with a reverse. With 7, Swisstock hanging on. And he'll win the 135-pound championship 6-4. So that stalling point played a great role as Mamano, that drew him within a point. Welcome back to the 17th annual Neptune Wrestling Classic, the championship bouts on TV 34. Bo Bauer of Lenape was third.
A long time ago.
John Frent of Ocean was second, and Rob Sagerton of Middletown South was the champion at 130 pounds. Mark Rossman along with Joe Zadalis of the Asbury Park Press with the call tonight. Mike Bird of Oakcrest and Sam Haynes of Lenape coming up at 140 pounds. Mike Bird is the top seed at 140, 18-8-1 a year ago. Haynes of Lenape was a first-round loser here at the Neptune Classic last year. Went on to finish second in the district, 12-12-1 overall, and this time he's a Neptune Classic finalist. Haynes in the red, Bird in the blue. Haynes up against a tough one, though, and top-seeded Mike Bird.
Mike Bird, very explosive. You see the leg drive, the upper body build, great hips.
And Haynes from Lenape. 1 year can make a lot of difference. Last year, he lost in the first round, talking about Haynes. Now a finalist.
Last year was probably his first varsity year, and the only way you can get seeded, Mark, is to have a record from the year before. So this year he has, 20 coming in with 25 bouts. He gets a second seed, which furthers your advancement possibility.
Long-legged wrestler from Lenape. Haynes working against Oakcrest's Mike Bird.
You can see Haynes pull his legging down there. Actually, they're illegal uniforms. The new rule says that the legging should extend all the way down into the boot with a strap.
Not too many teams still wear the leggings.
Get out of here. Come on, get out of here. You do. Come on, you work. Come on.
45 seconds left in the first period. We used to wear the leggings at Manalapan, and I think they're buried in a time capsule somewhere. It's a standoff right now at 140 pounds with 28 seconds left in the first.
Again, a situation where we might see a stalling call on one of the wrestlers if there's not a little more motion.
Well, Haynes tried to be aggressive with 18. That was about the best effort from Haynes thus far. But he just couldn't complete the takedown move. There are those long leggings, one sock up, one down.
So technically, the leggings are supposed to extend all the way into the shoe with a stirrup, so they can't come out of the shoe. I guess it's perceived that an opponent could come in and lose his grip if the leggings move.
5 seconds left in the period. Haynes trying for it again, had to come out. And that'll do it. No score at the end of one. 140-pound final.
Mike.
That's head coach Doug Servey on the left and Harry Whitley on the right. Harry, the former head coach at Wall, and his claim to fame is he coached Doug Bauer of Howell.
And there's Russ Menudo, the head coach of Lenape, farthest from you. Bird working from the bottom position. Doug Bauer must have picked up some pointers because he's turned out to be a heck of a coach at Howell.
Doug gives Harry a lot of credit for his success as a head coach.
Sam Haynes of Lenape on top, still with control of Oakcrest's Mike Bird. Bird the top seed at 140 pounds. Both these wrestlers have pinned their way to the final.
Going to work for a move called the Chirella. He's got the one arm pulled back, had the one arm pulled back through the crotch.
Riding with a leg in with a minute left in the second period.
I think we're going to get a stall call here soon, Mark. There is no pinning combination. There it is. No pinning combination. No, Rich Beth called a stalemate. It's a little bit of a gift there.
Bird still trying to find the right move to try and escape from the bottom. He wasn't able to do much while Haynes had the leg in, except work toward that stalemate. A little bit of a better effort off the whistle this time.
He has 5 seconds to put him on the mat safely.
Bird tried to come up, and Haynes maintained control. 35 seconds left in the period. Still trying to drive him down, trying to use that ankle.
But just put the whistle back in his mouth. We might see the stall now. 5 seconds, you're allowed to maintain control of that ankle.
He's got a good tight ride.
But he's riding parallel, and you can't pin a man while you're sitting on his legs.
Yep, trying to bar the arm, but as you pointed out, that's a tough position to work for a pinning combination. Usually you'd work from the side. Here's another look at it, some of the action.
See Bird just get taken down, and then you see try for a high leg over there, but really great balance by Haynes.
And a nice job to cover the left leg of Mike Bird, who will start from the down position once again as we begin the third period. Bird started down in the second period, could not escape or reverse Haynes, and we're still tied at 0. There's a good quick move by Bird as he explodes out for a one-point escape.
You saw that great hip strength. Just sagged his hips and broke the hold.
A 1-0 lead for Mike Bird of Oakcrest. Sam Haynes of Lenape now needs a takedown. That leg was there for the taking, and Bird tried to go for it. Haynes leading with that right leg, and now Bird, using some good upper body strength, has him for a takedown and more. Trying to drive Haynes over. 1:13 left in the third.
He's got 3 points. Now he can work for the pin as long as he wants.
Now with a reverse half and 50 seconds left in the period.
To a double grapevine.
And that'll do it. 49 seconds left in the third period, and Mike Bird of Oakcrest pins Lenape's Sam Haynes. .5:11 was the time of the pin.
Here you see Bird will just go chest to chest, and then he'll slip both legs inside of his opponents, stretch him out, and Rich Bethel make it final.
Couldn't have a better look than that. So Mike Bird of Oakcrest, the winner at 140 pounds. Oakcrest in control of the team standings as we enter the finals. Here are the 135 pounds award winners. As the champion, Keith Swisstock of Howell. Greg Bomano of Long Branch was second. And Chris Cook of Ocean was third. There's Chris Cook, who was third. And the champion, Keith
Neptune,
Swisstock.
Jason Brown, Oakcrest.
145-pound final, Kevin Seward of Lenape, Kevin Wilson of Middletown South. Wilson, the top seed at 145.
You know, Mark, you spoke earlier about a wrestler who came on at the end of the year last year. Kevin Wilson just blossomed in the districts. Was unbeatable in the districts. And they expect big things from him this year.
Wilson with a 2-1 lead as Wilson had a quick takedown and Seward counters with a 1-point escape. Seward was 17-9 a year ago, third in the districts. He's a junior. Wilson from Middletown South was 12-4. And there's a 2-point takedown for Wilson. I thought they had awarded it.
Didn't award it yet. Now he'll get it.
Yeah, Dan Lee had signaled it. 4-1 is the score with a minute left in the first period. Kevin Wilson in Middletown South controlling Lenape's Kevin Seward. Wilson has Seward's arm barred and can't do much without that arm. Seward just about plastered to the mat. A good hard ride by Wilson. Working on the head.
This is just a physical kid. You can see that. I mean, all the moves are power moves.
Seward, that is, rolled out of it for a 1-point escape. It's 4-2 with 20 seconds left, and they'll come back to the center of the mat. So Wilson had a good hard ride going. couldn't hang on for the last half minute, and Seward got the escape. 4-2.
I think it's safe to say Wilson is in very good shape. Ran cross country for the Eagles this year. First time. He's another kid who probably benefits by working out with Glenn Pritzloff.
There's Seward from Lenape. Kevin Wilson, his teammate Glenn Pritzlaff, Joe just mentioned, was a state champ a year ago, back for another go-round. We'll see him a little bit later. We got Wilson coming off the cross-country team and Pritzlaff coming off the football team. Some good versatile athletes over there at Middletown South. Looked in the box scores today, saw Dave Sergio from the football team playing basketball for the Eagles. Like to see that.
16 points, I think, and verbally committed to Rutgers yesterday.
That was also in today's press, and that was a good story. Sergio, I think, may not see him for a year or two up at Rutgers with Raymond Lucas in there, but that's a good move for Dave Sergio.
Fits into that offensive scheme very well. A lot of pressure there on this. It's a cerebral-oriented offense. The quarterbacks need to make a lot of reads, and I agree with you. I think he'll fit him well.
Minute and 20 seconds left in the second period. This is the 145-pound final. Kevin Wilson of Middletown South and Kevin Seward of Lenape.
Wilson working out front.
Well, he is really tough up on top. We don't see too many wrestlers maintain control from that position, and even Wilson can't do it as Seward gets a one-point escape. It's awfully hard when you get caught around in front of your opponent to try to maintain control, and Seward scores his third escape of the match. Wilson has had a couple of takedowns.
Looking to work something off the tie-up, a duck under or something to that effect.
Seward doesn't look like a typical cross-country performer. Think of runners, you think of tall, lanky guys, and Wilson, very muscular. In deep on a single leg. Can he finish it off?
Couldn't turn him around.
Boy, was he in on that one.
And right away they called Seward for stalling.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Wilson has been much more aggressive in this bout. It's almost like Seward does not want to make a mistake. Wilson wrestling with abandon. 15 seconds left in the second period. 4-3 the score in favor of Middletown South's Kevin Wilson.
Seward's going to get hit, except for the fact the period's going to end. He's in trouble if he can't do something in the third.
He shot in, and Wilson with a real strong counter spins around for a takedown. So Seward, well aware of the fact that he had to become aggressive, tried to go for the legs of Wilson, and Wilson countered it extremely well.
Just a matter of quantity there instead of quality. He just took a sloppy shot, and Wilson was waiting and countered it for the takedown.
6-3 in favor of Kevin Wilson as we start the third period. And
you see some of that power we were talking about now. There it is.
Once again, it was Seward who initiated. Wilson had countered and got the 2 points for the takedown in an 8-3 lead. He is impressive.
I said earlier, I think Middletown South really expects a lot from him, you know, as a leadoff batter for Pritzloff there.
Pritzlaff wrestling at 171 tonight. He won the state title at 160 a year ago. Does Tom Erbig envision keeping Pritzlaff at 171 this year? Or?
Look, Tommy's made no attempt to hide the fact that he's going to put Pritzloff against the opponent's best kid. You might see him at 60. You might see him at 71. You might even see him at 89 against some of the better people at the Shore.
What about at crunch time at the end of the year?
I think he's going to go 60 again, personally. You know, Glenn told me he played football at about 163 pounds all year anyway, 163-pound nose guard. I think that's where he's going to go.
Minute and 20 seconds left in the third period of this 145-pound final. Kevin Wilson of Middletown South controlling Lenape's Kevin Seward, and controlling him well. That's a good, hard ride.
You touched on Mark before. It's very hard to control an opponent out there without covering the legs, and he's very strong.
Wilson concedes an escape to make it 8-4, under a minute. Seward went for a single leg, trying to hold off the counter of Wilson, and was able to take it out of bounds. 46 seconds left in the match.
Wilson, one of those fire plug size wrestlers, tough to get in under.
And he's shown tonight that if you don't give it a full effort to get in and take the leg away, he's going to counter it in a hurry. .27 seconds.
Another stalling call against Seward. 1 point for Wilson.
Right, that makes it 9-4. Good double leg for Seward, and a whistle before, as Wilson appears to be shaken up. And I think it was the takedown attempt of Seward that may have caught Wilson.
Did they butt heads? I didn't.
It was not a slam, but I think something may have happened on the takedown attempt.
Little tap and go. Unless they called it off the head slap, Mark, I don't.
Hope you're enjoying this action in the 145-pound final. Wilson looks to be all right.
And there's one of the great things about having a match judge. You saw John Gabrielli dive in and stop the action right away.
Sensing that something might have been wrong with Wilson. Ten seconds left in the bout. Kevin Wilson of Middletown South trying to hang on and win at 145.
I think Seward only made him mad.
That'll do it at 145 pounds. Top-seeded Kevin Wilson of Middletown South wins the Neptune Classic title 9-4 over Lenape's Kevin Seward. Kevin Wilson, I think you'd have to say that was a dominating performance. He never really let Seward into the match.
Very physical, which you like to see if you're a wrestler. Again, he's in great shape, and he never lets up. When you can go one speed like that, you're going to tire opponents out.
Second place, Sam Haynes, Lenape.
Here are the 140-pound
All right, guy.
award winners. George Fujioka of Ocean, Sam Haynes of Lenape was second, and Mike Bird of Oak Crest.
Congratulations.
Now wrestling 152 pounds, Max Lavaseur, Neptune, Jason Brown, Oak Crest. On deck,
Mike Bird comes in and wins himself a Neptune Classic trophy. And now it'll be the 152-pound final. Top-seeded Jason Brown of Oak Crest, winner of the Neptune title last year at 145, against Max Lavaseur of Neptune. And Neptune head coach Bob Tiedemann with a couple of words for Lavaseur, who was 19-6-2 a year ago. Bob Tiedemann has been the coach at Neptune for better than 2 decades. He's had some fine wrestlers, and he's got another good one in Lavaseur.
I believe Bob is second in tenure only to Ed Gilmore of Point Pleasant Borough in the Shore Conference.
So here's Brown and Lavaseur at 152 pounds. Jason Brown from Oak Crest won himself a championship a year ago here at Neptune at 145, moving up 1 weight class.
Lavaseur, great story here. Honor student, ranked #1 in his class, 4.0 grade point average, doing it athletically and academically.
In on a takedown attempt. Wrestlers trying to counter out of this. Good call. They were right at the out-of-bounds line. John Gabrielli will send them back to the middle. Jason Brown, one of 6 Oak Crest wrestlers in the finals. Levasseur, the only representative of the Neptune Scarlet Flyers. Jason Brown last year was 24-2-1.
Stalemate.
No points yet in this one. 40 seconds left in the first period.
This is red right here.
A couple of guys working the out-of-bounds line.
And 2 guys marked not wanting to make a mistake in the center of the mat where they can't get out of trouble.
Brown, the more aggressive off the last restart, but couldn't do anything with it. Levasseur trying to counter with 20 seconds left in the first period. Down to 14. Some bouts are all takedowns and escapes. This one doesn't look to be shaping up that way. 4 seconds left in the period. And we'll go to the second period scoreless in the 152-pound final.
Almost looks like 2 wrestlers who aren't comfortable on their feet. Have to do their wrestling on the mat. We'll find out right here.
Some of the other wrestlers and parents on hand at Neptune High School for the finals of the Neptune Classic. Levasseur starts from the bottom position in the second period, very quickly came up for an escape attempt, and Brown rode him back to the mat. Into that move right on the whistle. Calling that a potentially dangerous?
Well, they try to head it off now. They just try and prevent the offensive wrestler from being in a situation where he'll have no supporting points on the mat. All that can happen is he can get hurt, because most of the time the defensive wrestler will just dive backwards and land on top of it.
Unless you're going to try for a standing split, but you've got to do it real quick to be able to get it.
It's got to be in one motion. There can be no pause.
There's a 1-point escape for Max Levasseur of Neptune. So the Neptune Scarlet Flyers representative Max Levasseur leads Jason Brown 1-0. And they're back in the takedown position, and neither wrestler had a takedown in the first period. Now, one wrestler tonight has gone for a headlock out of a neutral position. I don't know if that move has gone out of style or what, but I usually see it once or twice.
You definitely see when a Freehold Township wrestler is in the final, notorious for the headlock. Again, just 2 kids who do not look particularly comfortable on their feet, but there's a takedown for Brown.
Jason Brown with a 2-1 lead now. The first time in a number of years we do not have a Freehold Township wrestler in the finals. Oak Crest with 6 wrestlers leading the way as a 2-point reversal for Levasseur.
And there was a try for that standing split, but sloppily done and a reversal.
Levasseur leads 3-2. Brown trying to reverse out of it. 25 seconds left in the second period. That's a 2-point reversal for Jason Brown. It makes it 4-3. Working for a cradle. Right near the out-of-bounds line. Brown has got a couple of things in his arsenal that he's shown us. Wanted to go for the standing split, looking for the cradle.
Have to do it in the middle.
Yep. Max Levasseur of Neptune had 19 wins a year ago. 19, 6, and 2. 7 seconds left in the period. That'll do it for the second period. Jason Brown of Oakcrest leads 4-3. This is the 152-pound final. And let's see how they'll start for the third. It looks like Jason Brown will be on the bottom and Levasseur will be up top.
Motion, motion.
Doug Servey on the left, the head coach of the Oakcrest squad. Levasseur down by a point, needs to try to turn Brown.
Unable to cover the legs, and there's a reversal for Brown.
That makes the score 6-3. Levasseur working for the escape. Faces his opponent, although Brown still has control. And he will not get the 1-point escape as Brown was able to maintain control of his ankle. .120 left in the third period. Max Levasseur of Neptune down by 3 points.
Reach across for that split again.
Brown riding with the leg in. Might have been trying to work the arm. Looked like he wanted to take the arm for possible guillotine. Immediately shot the leg when Levasseur went to a stand-up. .55 seconds left in the third period.
Gonna have to show a little more offense.
That is Jason Brown on top.
Yes.
Levasseur making an effort for the escape. He needs an escape and a takedown to tie it.
One thing Levasseur hasn't been able to do, it's combinations of moves that score points, not just one most of the time. He has to go from one move to another to another. You can see he's not able to do that.
.35 seconds left. Levasseur working hard and getting his reversal. He now trails by a point. He needs to turn Brown if he wants to win it. 6-5.
He's trying for that cradle.
That time he did work a combination as he got the reverse and tried to get the cradle in at the same time. Brown trying to hang on with a 1-point lead.
Stalling green.
That's a warning, not a point, with 4 seconds left. And out of bounds with 2. Up, did they say they got to neutral?
Yes, they awarded Brown a neutral on that exchange, going out of bounds.
So that makes it 7-5.
Clock's not running.
Clock is not running, and now it is. So Levasseur had an extra second or two, but can't score the takedown to force the tie, and Jason Brown of Oakcrest wins the 152-pound title 7-5.
152 pounds, Jason Brown Oakcrest decision. Max
So a champion for head coach Doug Servey and assistant coach Harry Whitley as Jason Brown wins it.
Oakcrest. Second place, Evan Seward, Lenape.
Here are the award presentations at 145 pounds. Third place went to Corey Bird of Oakcrest. Second place was Kevin Seward of Lenape. And the champion at 145 pounds, Kevin Wilson
Now
of Middletown South.
160 pounds, Thurman Perry Howell, Justin Bird, Oakcrest.
There's the champ at 145, Middletown South's Kevin Wilson.
171 pounds, Ben Theus, Oakcrest, Glenn Pritzlaff, Middletown South.
Up next, the 160-pound final, Justin Bird of Oakcrest, who won the 152-pound Neptune Classic Championship a year ago, facing Thurman Perry of Howell. Bird was 30-4 a year ago. Perry was 10-6. As we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Thurman Perry, who saw some action for Doug Bauer's Rebels, has started the year off with a bang by making his way to the finals of the Neptune Classic.
Two real athletic-looking kids here.
Justin Bird in the royal blue, 30 wins a year ago. Bird in on a single leg. Not going to waste any time as he tries to take Thurman Perry down. I'm going to try to cradle him right for that. Bird, with great strength, puts Perry on his back.
Steps right over that. Trying to get a leg in.
He gets 3 near fall points for a 5-0 lead. Looked like Justin Bird was trying to cradle Thurman Perry right from the standing position.
Great power to me. You know, there wasn't a situation where his weight was on him. This is great upper body strength. Look at him here. Reverse half in very deep.
Justin Bird of Oakcrest looking to seal it at 160. 45 seconds left in the first period.
He's driving for it.
"35 seconds left, an eternity for Thurman Perry."
Look at the power.
And that'll do it. Justin Bird with a pin in a minute, 36 seconds, wins the 160-pound championship. Well, he is impressive. Came out, took a single leg, went for the cradle, got some near fall points, and immediately worked another pinning combination.
Again, just went from one thing to another. Never lost control of the head and just sets right in there. Good hip strength. And Rich Veth slaps the mat, ending it.
Justin Bird of Oakcrest has himself his second consecutive Neptune Classic championship. After winning at 152 a year ago, he comes back to win at 160.
And the 152-pound champion, Jason Brown Oakcrest.
That's Demetrius Howland of Toms River North. He was third at 152 pounds. Second was Max Lavaseur of Neptune. And the champion at 152, Jason Brown. And there's Jason.
Again, nice job. Come on, smile. It's over. Smile.
On deck.
Let's go back and watch the beginning of the 160-pound final between Bird and Perry. That's where it looked like he might have been going for the cradle. Right off a takedown. This move paid off with 3 near fall points and eventually the pin. And now it's Ben Theus of Oakcrest and Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South. Pritzlaff, the state champion at 160 pounds last March. Pritzlaff was 22-0 a year ago. Ben Thies of Oakcrest was 19-10.
Pritzlaff is a takedown machine. I think he had 14 takedowns in the state final last March.
Already got one here and a 2-0 lead. Pritzlaff won himself a Neptune Classic title a year ago. He lets Thies escape. That makes it 2-1, and you're going to see some of that takedown expertise right now. A 2-point takedown and a 4-1 lead for Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South.
Pritzlaff is another one of those kids who have a judo background. Last summer wrestled in the World Junior Games in South America, and pretty decent football player in his own right.
Unbelievable as a nose guard for Bob Gennarelli's team. We talked earlier about the use of giving up the 1-point escapes, and when you can do takedowns like Glenn Pritzlaff, then you can give up those 1-point escapes. And this is the perfect example of that as Pritzlaff leads 6-2. So if you're out there and you're thinking about giving up 1-point escapes because you're good on your feet, this is the man to watch because he's running a clinic in takedowns.
He's just relentless on his feet, explosive, powerful, knows how to finish.
Sees the escape. That makes it 6-3. 45 seconds left in the first period. Give Thies some credit, though. At least he attempted a shot there. Pritzlaff spins around for his 4th takedown and an 8-3 lead. Trading 2 for 1 pays off if you can do it every time.
Glenn going to work on top a little bit here. Figure 4 in on the leg. Pulling on the chin.
Pritzlaff goes without saying, the number 1 seed at 171 here. 22-0 a year ago. State champion at 160 pounds. That'll do it for the first period. Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South with his back to you. Leads Ben Thies of Oakcrest 8-3. Pritzlaff will start from the down position here in the second. Guess he's proof that you don't have to be a huge guy to play on the line in high school football at any rate. 160, 65 pounds, around there. Played nose guard, gets an escape here to make it 9-3. But with his leverage and aggressiveness, he was the perfect player to have in the middle of that defensive line.
Ferocious, relentless, and after watching this, you know he can tackle.
Another takedown for Pritzlaff makes it 11-3. Haven't seen a technical fall in the finals yet. Technical fall is scored when you're 15 points ahead of your opponent. And Pritzlaff is now leading Thies 11-3. Thies was warned for stalling, which is just adding insult to injury at this point because there's not a lot he can do under Pritzlaff.
Again, Glenn already signaling for the freestyle start, going to let him out.
That makes it 11-4.
There's not a lot Thies can do right now. I mean, he's tried shooting and been taken down. He's tried countering and been taken down. There's not really many options left.
Pritzlaff with a duck under, and he's going to turn that into 2 points.
Just see how explosive he is. Textbook.
13-4 with 35 seconds left in the second period. Pritzlaff has Thies trying to turn him over for some near fall points. Good strong ride. Now he's going to try to bow him up for a cradle with 12 seconds left in the period. Got his arm in behind the knee, and there's the cradle with 6. And that's going to do it. Pritzlaff had the cradle in deep and just did not get the pin, but will get 3 points for a near fall. Make it 16-4. Referee Dan Lee indicating 3 points for a near fall, and here's a look.
Watch the hip strength, the leg strength, the control. Just going to drive him to his back, reach around the head, looking for the cradle. And again, just so relentless.
Wrestler started the third period in the neutral position. This is the third period. 1:49 left in the bout. Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South leads Ben Theus of Oakcrest 16-4.
Pritzlaff right off a front headlock there, spin behind for another 2.
His 7th takedown of this bout, the 171-pound final. Still got 2 more bouts coming up after this, 189 pounds, and then the heavyweights. Joe, you mentioned a little while ago that Pritzlaff could be used by Coach Tom Erbig, maybe even as high as 189. Do you see that weight difference giving him a problem with people weighing that much?
I imagine it could if he's up against a kid who's dropping a little weight to make 189, but he's so good on his feet. He's so powerful. I don't think it'll be a problem very often. Tom Erbig, though, is not concerned about wins and losses. He's trying to get Glenn as much competition as he can. You know, Mark, it's funny, if you're watching the Oakcrest corner, they're both sitting there with, a minute ago, with leg cross, almost watching it like it was a video on how to do it.
It really is, because there's another escape conceded by Pritzlaff, and he has just put on a takedown clinic against Ben Theus, who was 19-10 a year ago. It's not like Theus isn't a good competitor. He's up against the best in the state. There are the Oakcrest coaches. Doug Servey on the left, Harry Whitley on the right.
And there's not a lot you can tell Theus to do at this point.
30 seconds left in the bout. Cameraman Tom Hughes has a good seat for this one. Right from the middle of the mat. It's a good look at it.
Finish this, let's go. Need a takedown. Need a takedown.
Tom Erbig still cheering Pritzlaff on, telling him to finish his takedowns, finish the move.
And he's going to finish that right there.
Perfect single leg with 12. They give him the takedown. It was near the out of bounds. And that's going to do it. A technical fall as he gets the takedown. It's 21-5, and that's going to go as a technical fall for Glenn Pritzlaff. So we weren't too far away from the end of the bout, and that final takedown was enough to put Pritzlaff over the top and lock up the Neptune Classic Championship in a clinic of takedown wrestling. Defending 160-pound state champion wins the 171-pound final here at Neptune.
Mike Robinson, Neptune.
So fast. Switch from a single to a double, and all while the guy was up in the air.
Second place,
Just remarkable.
Terry Howell.
That's Mike Robinson of Neptune, the third place finisher at 160.
And the 160-pound champion,
Thurman,
Justin
here we go.
Bird
Thurman Perry of
Oakcrest.
Howell is second at 160.
You guys have a tough time
Now
finding a
wrestling,
place for these things all around your house. Huh?
And
Champion
James Jenkins,
Justin Bird of
Oakcrest,
Oakcrest accepting the
Middletown
award from
North.
tournament director Joe Bongiovanni. Oakcrest wrestlers indeed have taken home their share of medals tonight. Top-seeded James Jenkins of Oakcrest taking on Todd Rogers of Middletown North. Rogers, the only Middletown North wrestler in the finals. He was 11-4 a year ago. Jenkins was 22-5. Jenkins, top-seeded, had a bye and a forfeit in his first 2 rounds here. scored a pin in the semifinals. In with a good single leg. Let's see what he can do off it. How about that for a little strength move? Trying to finish off the takedown against Rogers. Still no.
Out of bounds.
No takedown. Joe, you had the team standings coming into this championship round, and Oakcrest was well ahead of the competition. 40 points ahead heading into the championship round.
It just ran and hid.
Just to give you an idea, Oakcrest had scored 186 team points coming in. Their closest pursuer was Lenape with what, 146?
146.
Team points are awarded based on wins and then also whether you're getting pins or superior decisions or technical falls, and it all adds up throughout the entire tournament. Rogers had Jenkins in a bit of trouble, and now Jenkins able to counter the move and come up with a takedown.
Tried for a spadle and just missed it.
James Jenkins leads 2-0. Rogers did not get any points off of his move. 20 seconds left in the first period. Oakcrest High School located in South Jersey. And this team has come up the last couple of years and really made its mark at the Neptune Classic. 5 seconds left in the period. This is the 189-pound final. 3 near-fall points for Jenkins as Rogers ends the period with a reversal. We'll give Rogers a bit of credit. He was on his back, gave up 3 near-fall points. As you see some of the action.
It's a great job by Rogers. Kept control of the arm, kept up to his back, and almost got another 2 out of that.
That was in the final seconds. 5-2 the lead for top-seeded James Jenkins of Oakcrest. Wrestlers will start in a neutral position in the second period. Todd Rogers in the orange and black of Middletown North. Jenkins was in deep on a single leg takedown attempt. Still no control by either wrestler. Rogers doing the best he can to try to hang on and force a stalemate. And still nothing. Jenkins doesn't want to let go of that ankle, but he's forced to as they go out of bounds. Both wrestlers have a big target to shoot for in terms of legs. It's 2 189-pounders. Did they give Jenkins a 2-point takedown there? I think they did.
I guess they did. It was close. I guess they figured he was inbound.
There was some discussion amongst referees John Gabrielli and Rich Beth. Jenkins gets the takedown and leads 7-2.
Nice switch there by Rogers to get a reversal.
2-point reversal makes it 7-4. 55 seconds left in the second period. Rogers giving top-seeded James Jenkins a battle.
Points.
He's trying to step in. Got 2 near-fall points to draw within a point at 7-6. Todd Rogers of Middletown North with a bit of a rally here in the second.
Jenkins a little bit sloppy there. Just looked like a simple tight waist, and he just laid him on his back for 2 counts.
Rogers knows enough to take the half Nelson out when he got a little high. 1-point escape for Jenkins, 8-6.
Jenkins back in on that single, now to a double. There's the try for the spadle again by Rogers. It's a deadly move if you can get it.
Trying to put those shoulders
There
of
it is.
Jenkins. A 2-point takedown and more at the end of the period. 2 near fall points for Todd Rogers. So an 8-point period for Rogers, and he now has the lead 10-8.
And there it is again. Watch him try and pull the foreleg in with his own leg. It's called a spadle. And the interesting thing about it is if Jenkins lets go, he's out of the hole. But your inclination is to hang on to the opponent's leg for dear life.
10-8 the scores. Todd Rogers of Middletown North takes the lead as we go to the third period. We're going to have an injury timeout right now. There'll be 2 minutes left in the bout when we resume. Let's take a break. Welcome back to the 17th annual Neptune Wrestling Classic. Indra Sulio-Atakasumo of Manalapan, his work done for the night. Chowing down just a bit. He won the championship at 112 pounds. Meanwhile, it's the third period of the 189-pound final. Todd Rogers of Middletown North on top and leading top-seeded James Jenkins of Oakcrest. Rogers scored 8 points in the second period and came from 7-2 down to take the lead.
I give Rogers credit. He's really been aggressive. He's hasn't become passive even though he's behind, and he's doing a nice job.
Warning for stalling on Jenkins. He's on the bottom. Jenkins trying to work up to his base. Rogers with a pretty good ride. Conceded the escape to make it 10-9. Not sure about that move.
I was a little surprised myself. He had a couple decent pinning combinations in, and Jenkins is clearly better on his feet, but there's a counter again right to his back in a cradle.
He tried to throw Rogers, and Rogers countered it for a takedown in a 12-9 lead.
And I think he's got 2 back waiting.
Rogers has the head and the knee. Trying to lock up his hands.
He's also taking some time off the clock.
2 near fall points off that move makes it 14-9. Jenkins was able to scoot out of bounds. 48 seconds left in the third period of the 189-pound final. 1 match to go, the heavyweight final. Todd Rogers of Middletown North with a 5-point lead over James Jenkins of Oakcrest.
It's just toying with him now, Mark. There's some more back points off a tight waist. Chirella.
25 seconds left. Rogers wants that pin. Has to come out of that hold for a second. Trying to step over with his leg and finish off Jenkins. 7 seconds.
Sensational effort by Todd Rogers here. Fell behind early, came rushing back.
And Todd Rogers wins it 14-9. And the Middletown North fans like it. He got 3 near fall points, so let's make the final score 17-9 for Todd Rogers. He was down 7-2 and came back with a nice effort, a real burst in the second period to win it 17-9. Head coach Jerry Paradiso pleased with the effort shown by Todd Rogers.
Edwards Jackson.
They'll hand out the awards at 171 pounds.
Second place, Ben Theus, Oakcrest.
Nakia Edwards of Jackson finished third at 171.
And the 171
Ben Theus of Oakcrest second.
Glenn Pritzlaff, Middletown South.
And the winner at 171, Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South.
Now you know where your competition is, right? Yeah.
Now wrestling heavyweights,
There's
Tyrone
Glenn
Johnson,
Pritzlaff.
Congratulations again.
Jackson, Bryant Clagan, Lakewood. 171-pound
champion is Glenn Pritzlaff of Middletown South. Final bout of the night, the heavyweights. Tyrone Johnson of Jackson in the red, Bryant Claggan of Lakewood in the blue. First period. Tyrone Johnson was 23-4 last year. Claggan was 10-8.
Tyrone Johnson will be one of 3 Johnson brothers in the starting lineup for Jackson this winter.
Won a championship last year at Neptune. A couple of neighboring schools. Tyrone Johnson of Jackson, Bryant Claggan of Lakewood. And the final bout. It's been another good Neptune Classic. Some terrific performances. A lot more pins in the finals this year than any recent year that I can remember, Joe.
Yes, but I think it's also a tribute to the quality, because if there's a mistake made, there's a pin. We're going to see a potentially dangerous slam call here.
Tyrone Johnson of Jackson put Claggan to the mat. Looks like they're running injury time, and a penalty point, I think, awarded right on this move.
Almost a suplex. Watch him crash. You have to bring your opponent to the mat under control. If Claggan were unable to continue, Johnson would lose the match by injury default.
Right now it's 1-0 because Claggan was awarded a penalty point for that slam.
Just lost control of him on the way down.
You used to see a lot more slams, and I like the rule that says you must return your opponent to the mat safely. I've seen some bad slams, but not recently. I think that's a good rule. 30 seconds left in the first period. Claggan holds that 1-0 lead. Tyrone Johnson looked to get in for a takedown. Had to back out of it. And Claggan has just been warned for stalling. He was backing up. So no points on that one, but the next one will be a point for Johnson. Claggan could not keep him in bounds. And that'll do it for the first period. Bryant Claggan of Lakewood leads Tyrone Johnson of Jackson 1-0. Al Ayers is the head coach of the Jackson Jaguars. He's on the right with the scorebook.
And Dave Porfirio is assistant on the left. Jackson figures to be a challenger in Class A South with Townsville East and Brick Memorial for championship honors.
Still 1-0 for Claggan as we start the second period. Only point in this match came on a penalty point when Tyrone Johnson slammed Claggan to the mat. Now Claggan in with a single leg. And Johnson did get a 1-point escape after starting this period from the down position. Took him a second or so to get it up on the board, but the score is tied at 1. Well, it has been a long day at Neptune High School.
Long 2 days.
Yep, Friday night and Saturday.
You know, most of the kids go to school all day Friday, weigh in here about 3 o'clock. I know this round here didn't end last night, Friday night, until 11:30 or so, until you get home and come back the next morning. It is a long day.
Oh, there's going to be some heavy ribbing going on there. Heavy ribbing. 1-1 is the score in this heavyweight bout. So Johnson and Claggan back to action.
I think we might see a couple more penalty points here if there's not a little more emotion. Seeing Rich Veth taking a close look.
Both wrestlers have attempted takedowns and just haven't been able to finish them off. So I think
Not good attempts, mind you, but attempts, yes.
So Rich Veth giving it a good long look. With a minute left in the second period. The Neptune Classic signals the start of the year. A couple of more holiday tournaments coming up, and then once January rolls around, it'll be dual meet action. Most teams wrestle 2 a week. And there'll be some division titles on the line in the short conference, and then, of course, in March, the individual tournaments, the districts, the regionals, and the states, and there's also the state team tournament this year.
Hopefully. You know, we lost a lot of wrestling last year, and I think everyone here is working very hard to make sure we don't have the same thing happen. I'm referring, of course, to the outbreak of herpes gladiatorum, and short conference has made a major effort to keep that from happening again.
Tyrone Johnson was awarded a penalty point and now leads 2-1 as Clagan was called for stalling. He had already been warned once. Second violation results in a penalty point. So Johnson leads 2-1. 1 second, and that's going to do it for the second period. So the heavyweight final. And Clagan has some work to do as we start the third period. Bryant Clagan of Lakewood. It's almost over. This is the last bout. 13 championship matches we've seen.
That was one of the Tom's River East wrestlers, Mark. Tom's River East in the tournament for the first time this year.
Johnson brings Clagan to his back and gets a couple of near fall points. Rich Veth had the count and awards 2 near fall points to Tyrone Johnson, who now leads 4-1. 11 teams put wrestlers in the finals. Manalapan, Howell, Middletown South, Middletown North, Neptune, Lakewood, Jackson, Long Branch, Oak Crest, Lenape, and Ocean. The other teams in the tournament were Freehold Township, Central, Red Bank, Toms River East, Toms River North, Rumson, and Wall. Head coach Mads Madsen of Lakewood, farthest from you, looking on as his wrestler Bryant Clagan tries to come back from a 4-1 deficit. Gets an escape to make it 4-2. Takedown for Clagan would tie it up. Still some time, 1:19 in the third. There have been no takedowns in this match.
And Rich Veth putting his hands out to the sides. We're going to get another call. You might see one against Johnson here.
Johnson trying to be more aggressive, and that's a point for Johnson as Clagan is hit with another stall call. So that makes the score 5-2. And a takedown will no longer tie it up.
And the next stalling call's 2 points.
41 seconds left. Tyrone Johnson in with a single leg. Could he finish it for the first takedown of the match? No. Heading down to 20 seconds is Tyrone Johnson looking for another Neptune title. He won it last year. And just a couple of seconds away from winning it again. Tyrone Johnson of Jackson in the red.
10 seconds, do something, anything. Shoot! 5 seconds.
And that'll do it. Tyrone Johnson of Jackson High School defeats Lakewood's Bryant Claggan 5-2 to win the heavyweight championship. Still a few more awards to be presented. First at 189 pounds, and then the heavyweights.
Tyrone Johnson, Jackson, decision.
But it is Tyrone Johnson of Jackson High School winning it at heavyweight.
189 pounds, third place, Tony McCurry, Central.
At 189 pounds, Tony McCurry of
Second
Central
place,
was
James
third.
Jenkins,
There's Tony.
Oakcrest.
James Jenkins of Oakcrest will come up and get his second place award.
It's early in the season.
Rogers, Middletown North.
And the champion at 189 pounds, Todd Rogers of Middletown North, with a nice performance. Trailing 7-2, he came back to beat Jenkins 17-9 to win the 189-pound championship. Todd Rogers, 11-4 a year ago, starts his 92-93 season off in a good way. Now they're going to hand out the awards for the heavyweights. Tyrone Johnson's going to go up in a minute to get his award. First, it's Cornelius Cruz of Oakcrest, who finished third.
Bryant Claggan, Lakewood.
Lakewood's Bryant Claggan
And the heavyweight champion,
finished
Tyrone
second.
Johnson, Jackson.
And Jackson's Tyrone Johnson, the
Tyrone,
champion
congratulations.
at heavyweight.
Take your breath.
2 in a row for Tyrone Johnson.
Very good athlete. Comes from good stock. His brother Rob, a state champion, an All-American soccer player at Rutgers University.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the
Congratulations, good job.
Neptune Sportsmanship Award.
Now the Sportsmanship Award will be presented. We're just waiting for that
This
announcement.
individual is ranked first in his class out of 238. A perfect 4.0 GPA. Student Council President, 12th grade. National Honor Society, 12th grade. Century 3 Leadership Award School winner, 12th grade. Principal's Leadership Award School winner, 12th grade. 1210 in SAT.
Just listening to some of the accomplishments of our Sportsmanship Award winner.
Max Lavaseur from Neptune.
That's who it'll be.
Principal's High Honor Roll.
As Joe Zadalis mentioned when we watched Max Lavaseur in action. Perfect 4.0 GPA here at Neptune High School. Outstanding student. It's taken a while just to read off the list of accomplishments, but he is going to win this Sportsmanship Award, and then it'll be the most outstanding wrestler.
Distinguished Scholars Award.
Quite a list of achievements for this Neptune
Winner,
senior.
Max Lavaseur, Neptune.
Max Lavaseur of Neptune, the winner of the Ted Beal Sportsmanship Award here at the 1992 Neptune Classic, and there he is.
Oh, sweet. Listen to all those things. That's great. That's great. Oh, good job.
He
Really
finished
deserve it.
second at 152 pounds. Nice job.
And the most outstanding wrestler
Now the
award.
most outstanding wrestler award.
Indra Suliowad
From
Aquasimo.
Manalapan, it's the 112-pound champion, Indra Suliowad-Akusomo. From Manalapan High School, he beat Lenape's Justin Hurst in the championship, pinned him in the second period, and named the most outstanding wrestler of the 1992 Neptune Classic. So congratulations to both of those award winners.
Here are your final
Great
team
job.
scores.
And just the start of what I'm sure will be a successful season for Indra and the Braves.
It's a great way to start, pinning the state runner-up. He's a quality kid, and I think we're going to see him in Atlantic City in March.
17 Thompson, 14.
Now they are announcing the final team standings, running it down of all 18 teams that took part in this Neptune Classic. There's Indra's dad. He looked on, a lot of pride as he watched his son win the 112-pound title tonight.
Certainly no suspense as far as who won this year, Mark. We've had a couple of very close races the last couple of years, but Oakcrest made a mockery of it this year.
Oakcrest came into the championship round with a 40-point lead over its closest pursuer, Lenape, while they run down some of the other teams in the runner-up spots. It will come as no surprise if Oakcrest captures the championship. And as a team, you'd have to say that Oakcrest, coming up from South Jersey, did another fine job. They had 6 wrestlers in the finals, and I saw a couple more in the consolation bouts. So once again, an all-around performance for Oakcrest.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, they're one of the top 10, 15 teams in the state of New Jersey at this point. Exceptional balance. And that's what wins your matches. You can have as many great kids as you want, but they don't have a hole, and that's how you win championships.
Among the short conference teams that participated in this tournament, Long Branch and Middletown South probably will be the top finishers, somewhere around 3rd or 4th. How would you account for the performances that the Green Wave and the Eagles gave this weekend?
I think Long Branch is really coming. A lot of balance, a lot of talent, and they're only going to get better. Still a lot of young kids. Middletown South is going to have a few holes. They're an exceptional tournament team. When you have wrestlers like Duffy and Fritz Sloff and Wilson, you're going to score a lot of points in the tournament, and that's how you win the tournament.
So Oakcrest makes it a very successful trip up as the Oakcrest squad and head coach Doug Servey win the 1992 Neptune Classic title, the team championship, and that means a lot because it was a total team effort, a couple of individual champs, 6 finalists, a handful more in the consolation round, and a very strong performance by Oakcrest. Well, we've enjoyed it once again being at the Neptune Classic 13 championship bouts. And Joe, once again, I want to thank you for your help. People can read your wrestling columns and reports all through the year in the Asbury Park Press. I know you're looking forward to a great season.
Absolutely. Can't wait till January. I'm a dual meet guy myself, and I think we're going to see some very good bouts throughout the year. Thanks again for having me.
Tournaments the rest of the way for December, and then after the holiday recess, it'll be the dual meet starting as the season kicks into high gear. Once again, we thank you for watching from the Neptune Classic. For Joe Zadalis, I'm Mark Rossman. We'll see you next time.